Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. We have another session in this beautiful Quantum Conversation Summit series, Timelines, Creating the Highest Benevolent Outcomes. And my guest today is Susann Taylor Shier. She is a beautiful light worker and a medical intuitive who is here to help us reclaim our health and wholeness divine blueprint. In fact, we're going to jump timelines to reclaim your health and wholeness divine blueprint. Hi, Susann. Thank you for being here.
Hello. Oh, hello, Loren. I'm so glad to be with all of you always. Yeah. Anywhere in the world, wherever you're coming from, we are one world. Woo! More and more. It's great.
It is awesome because as we come together like this, and when we see where everyone is from, so everyone put in the chat where you are on the planet and let us know so that everyone can see how literally our love and our light wraps this planet many times over. And so we've said this before, we are all acupuncture points and needles for the earth, like mobile trees, right? Trees that anchor light. We are our own mobile trees that anchor light on this planet.
Oh, I love it.
Susann,
Yes, absolutely.
I love this topic, okay, because as we're talking about timelines, health could come up in a timeline, and someone who is going through a diagnosis or a situation may just not see another opportunity, another choice, another timeline. So as we start here, I'd like to ask you your definition of a timeline and how we are able to change or shift course from timelines.
Ah, that's a great question. My definition of that keeps changing, but let me give you a few pieces. Because I work at a soul level, and that soul level relates to the Akashic records, when I talk about jumping timelines, I'm talking about accessing your soul DNA and your soul's Akashic records, which is a timeline that relates to your original blueprint, which relates to who you are as a soul and always have been for a very long time. I want you to reclaim your original soul's timeline. Now, as to be able to do that, I love the visual of being on a train. There's a lot of train tracks, and you're on a train and you're going in a certain direction, or just feeling what you're feeling emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. You're on that train, and all of a sudden you go, "This is not it." How many times have you gone, "This is not it"? I'm stuck. I'm in resistance. I'm afraid. This is not it. I know there's something more. And I feel like jumping timelines is basically going, I'd like to get off at the next stop, and I'm going to take the train that I perceive is going in a whole other direction, and I'm going to jump on it and jump on that train. So you have a visual to play with, and jump on the train that you perceive, whether you know where it's taking you or anything like that. It's unknown, but it's like that one feels right. Jump on it and leave the other train at one level behind, and you have a whole new train to get onto that moves your heart and soul and intuitively feels real to you. That's what you want to listen to, because it can get very confusing, this idea about jumping timelines. What the heck does that mean? How do you jump? Well, if you have that visual that, okay, this train is not working for me. And sometimes I run into people more often than we'd like to say, which are like, this life timeline is not working for me. Can I just please go home and get off of this lifetime, this lifetime timeline? And I say, Of course you can, but it doesn't mean leaving the planet to do that. It means getting on the train that is the true train again for your heart and soul, and learning how to discern that. And that's what I love to help people do, is discern what's true for my heart and soul, even if I have all these conditions going on physically, mentally, emotionally. Yeah.
Yes, and I would say that that is one of the most popular questions that we get here
Mm,
for people, especially those who are new to this and truly understanding we got to get out of the head and into the heart. We hear that all over the place. But then this practice of listening to the heart. I mean, even in my own journey, I was, what does my heart say? How do
yeah,
we know what our heart says? How do we know what our soul says?
yeah.
What vibrational frequency needs to be, I want to say, unlocked to get us
Mm,
there, to get
hmm.
us into listening to the heart? When you listen to your heart, how is that different than listening to your head?
Ah, that is such a great and big question, and so important.
Yeah,
How to know when you're in your heart, not in your head, and that you can trust it.
yeah,
First of all, living from the heart, and also being able to trust your body wisdom as well. I do a lot with intuition, and I find that trusting your intuition, which is part of the voice of the soul, comes because you're listening from your heart, not your third eye. Sorry, I'm busting that myth. When you're listening from your third eye, you're up in your head. And if you're not, if you're new at it, you're going to just be like, which is my third eye, which is my head? I got nothing going on. I have no visuals. And it's not about visuals. Sometimes it is. But if you're going into your heart to listen to your deeper, what I call the sacred heart, where the soul lives like a sanctuary. So, just for a moment, everybody, imagine your physical heart, okay? And think of some heartache or heartbreak that you've had, whether it's someone's death, a relationship breakup, your puppy dying. Oh no, it's horrible stuff. Feel how it makes your heart constrict right now, even thinking of it a little bit. Okay? That is your physical, emotional heart, where a lot of stuff is held. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want to listen to your true heart and true soul, you have to go a little bit deeper. So imagine that there is, and this is your creative imagination, imagine that there behind your physical heart is what I call spiritual sacred heart, a space behind your physical heart. It's got nothing going on in it, no organs. It's in front of the spine for most people. I can't tell you for sure with everyone. It's a space like a sanctuary. And you can feel or sense that space, that it's empty like a creative void. It's there for spirit. Emotions can't get into it. It's like, what? You can't get your emotions caught in there? Nope. It is designed for you to be able to create. And I find with creation and manifestation, that's an essential ingredient as well, that you go into that space. And people say, well, I should feel what I want to manifest, what it's going to feel like. Go into that sanctuary and feel and create in your sanctuary what it feels like, what the sensation of it is in your heart. And that is going to be a much more successful heart dimension to go into and to listen to. Otherwise, when you go into, I know I'm supposed to listen to my heart, but it makes me so sad to do that. And I get so scared and I get so angry. What good is that? And it's because you're in your emotional heart, your human heart. And that makes a big difference. And then we can talk about the body as wisdom as well. But I'll stop for a second. Take a breath.
yes. It's all really fascinating. And so we're building our skills, listening to the sacred heart. That is a distinction.
Mhm.
So it really requires slowing down, doesn't it? It really
It
requires the breath,
does. It does.
pausing for a moment,
Mm-hmm. Not,
bypassing
it's, yeah.
emotion.
And when you get the emotion, just like you were about to say, don't get caught in it. That's essential because we go, oh, I feel so sad. My puppy died. And then we're there and we just get locked into it. Instead of going, okay, my puppy died. I'm going to go into my deeper heart. Oh, I love my puppy. And puppy love is the most beautiful experience I've ever had. But you have to be willing to go beyond that and know there's more than just that emotion, because that catches us. Fear catches us like that, and we're just lost in it, right? I can't get in touch with my soul and spirit because I got this fear going on. Really?
Yeah, it really illustrates the importance of being out in nature. Because as you were sharing that behavior, that style of getting into the heart, when we're out in nature or when we're doing things that we enjoy or love, we are in the heart. And so, gosh, singing and dancing even, right? Singing,
Yeah.
dancing.
Anything that just moves the heart. And I often tell people, if you feel sad, it's the heart moving. So let it open your heart. I could say I cry a lot more than the average person. Why is that? Because I'm always letting my heart move and cry. I'll just start crying and I'm not putting a story to it or anything. It's just like, oh, and then I put appreciation into it. That's a great way to go into your heart, is to feel love and appreciation for anything. It could be chocolate cake. It doesn't matter. Feel that smile that happens in your heart when you think of someone or something that you love or appreciate. And there you are, and feel out how it's deeper than your emotional heart, that love and appreciation quality. Yeah.
It's such our natural state.
Hmm.
We can look back at when we were children and maybe going through a certain experience, and how would we self-soothe? Going into the closet, putting music on, or something like this to
Hmm.
take us out of the mind and bring us back to that space. So,
Yes.
what a great remembrance. Okay, so listening from the heart is one of the great keys, slowing
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And now this is fascinating, the body wisdom.
Yeah.
The body wisdom. Tell us more about what's going on here, because oftentimes we would go into fear if there's a pain or an ache in the
Yeah.
body, and
Yeah.
especially if there's a diagnosis from an outside person, a doctor or the medical profession, that could be extremely frightening for some. But body
Absolutely.
wisdom and intuition,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we can all look back where we missed our intuition and we learned what our intuition is by overriding our intuition. But now we're trying to get ahead of it and paying
Hmm.
attention to our intuition. And
Hmm.
so, how does this fit in with body wisdom as well?
Well, it's been said in the last number of years that we truly are bringing more light than dark into the planet. There are more people awakening, there's more light, spiritual connection, people wanting to be spiritually connected than ever, ever, ever on the planet, which is fantastic. Now it's time for those of us who have woken up, are woke, have woken up spiritually and feel that that is such a pinnacle experience for us to, we've talked about it again for a number of years, get embodied. And that means getting attuned with our body wisdom and being able to listen to what our body is saying to us, particularly, and that's part of why I got into medical intuition, is because always worked at a soul level. We want to get in touch with the only wound, which is the wound of disconnection. All right, the lack of connection is the only wound we have. It want everything in us emotionally. I've been doing this for over 30 years, so I've just seen it over and over again. If you sort of boil it down to that, it makes it so much easier. Oh, in this moment of fear, terror, body pain, that part of me, even the terror or the fear is just a part of you, is disconnected. So we have learned to flood ourselves with spirit, But now we have to learn how to listen to the body and what it's trying to voice with us about how it has felt disconnected and what's being held in it that's keeping it in lockdown. Because I've worked with so many people in the last year and a half, especially, who, because I got so excited about getting into this more and more, although I've been doing it for a long time. Um, what is the body trying to tell us? What's locked in there? It's not just, we used to with emotions go into, oh, that's what happened in my childhood. That explains it. Great. You get an explanation, but then you start, as you get a little older, you start having aches and pains or diagnosis or feeling limitations or just feeling, just all sorts of shutdown mechanisms and particularly immune. Oh my gosh, immune limitations and diagnosis are getting huge. What's that about? All the wound of separation that relates to the heart and the thymus. That's a whole thing. Anyway, and the throat, this whole area, and our lungs are the immune system. And we all know that the gut, right, is the foundation for our immune system as well. So we've got two of these, the upper heart, lower heart, that are part of our immune system that's gotten shut down. So it relates to older patterns. And I love to help people get to the soul level. What's the soul level? What is the, what do I want to call it? Formula, whatever it is, the reason that has started this whole pain limitation challenge that you have in the first place, and get in touch with that. Then you don't have to go into your whole childhood and figure it all out and intellectually understand it. Now it's like, oh, this is what my body wisdom is telling me. Beneath the pain is the gold of my soul wanting to come out and being ready to come out, and the pain has been in the way. And so the pain just gets stronger and stronger to say, I got to get out of the way. Excuse me, I have to get out of the way, if that makes sense. Ah, phew, a lot, I know.
No, I love it. And when we're talking a soul level, then with the clients that you've worked with, what are some examples of situations where the soul was the soul trying to get someone's attention,
Yes.
like the proverbial 2x4 across the head sort of
Some of
thing?
that, yes, and it will also relate to emotional trauma, life transition. When you go back and realize when you started having this physical challenge or limitation, you may have been born with it. So we go back even to other lifetimes, but when you start finding these limitations coming up, it relates to something much deeper. But often the turning point that creates the situation is because of a trauma. But that trauma isn't just divorce, for instance, it's what you felt around the divorce, which does relate to a soul challenge that makes it even bigger and more intense. So you could say, well, I feel much better. I feel okay about the divorce, but your body's going, no. And that's what we want to help get to. So your spirit can be free to be fully embodied. Because we all know that physical limitation is just a killer for our spirit. It makes it so hard for us to be in joy, lightness, and laughter when we've got this chronic pain or chronic situation that takes our attention 24/7. And it's not
So,
okay anymore for us, right? We want to live. We're needed. We want to contribute. We want to be able to provide for others and not be stuck in our own little prison of our what seems like a physical body sabotage. Yeah.
wow. All right. And so really it's reconnecting, it's embodiment, it's the soul, it's aligning with the soul. And
Mhm.
that's our journey, and we love that. And so what does so like if someone has an illness
Mhm.
that doesn't ever seem to be corrected, or it's a
Mhm.
long term,
Mhm.
what would you say? Is it what's going on there? Is it
Yeah.
more soul work needs to be done, or
Yeah, and again, that's why I started getting into it, because it's really hard for us sometimes to listen to what's really going on because we're so involved with it that and we were the ones that put it in place in the first place. I know that sounds awful, but why did that come in? Because of another lifetime, because of a soul challenge, we brought it with us. So we're like, I don't know what's going on. We're afraid to unlock it because it feels too much. So in this case with me, and I teach people how to do it for themselves, um, you come in and you're able to be with that part of you. If it's the immune system, we find out where the core of that is, find out what it wants to say, what it wants to experience instead of the pain. It's not just doing a body scan and saying, oh, that feels like your knee is feeling a lot of anger. That's fine to understand, but what does that give you? Just, okay, I understand that. All right, I've got a lot of anger in my knee. I want you to feel what's beneath the anger, why that anger got in there, not intellectually, but soul level, and be able to give your knee what it's been looking for, that it's angry it doesn't have, so to speak, right? Because we get angry when we don't have what we want, understandable, okay? Because we're great creators. So we want to get under that and find out what it wants to create and start creating that in your body and take it to the knee. Well, that's a cute phrase, take it to the knee. To take it into where the pain has been and give it what it's been longing for. Because when it's in pain, it's screaming out for something. Isn't everything about inflammation, right? Everything is inflammation. That's a scream going on. I need something here that you haven't given me. And it's so much a relationship to spirit and soul that hasn't been given because life itself can heal anything. We know that. But there's been a block there that's keeping life from getting in that we created unbeknownst to our conscious mind.
wow. So
Ooh.
success stories. Can you share a success story or an
Oh,
experience where,
sure,
because I that would be and then we're going to do some tips on medical intuition, but
sure.
I would it'd be wonderful to hear what happened with many of your clients. Is there
Yeah,
one who comes to
lots
mind
of
where
clients. Yeah.
soul presence
Hmm.
heals?
Well, healing physical traumas, lots of those, shoulders, hips, knees. Um, Yeah, I mean, it's not like in one session it all turns around. It takes a little bit more, but you have to get to, is what I discovered, the soul depth of where life, as I said, is being blocked from coming in to heal. You go to all these healers, they give you Reiki, but there's no way for it to get in fully because you've got this subconscious soul level challenge that says, nah, out of protection, fear, survival, basically. Okay. So one wonderful woman I worked with had not Epstein-Barr, sorry, Crohn's. I a lot of Crohn's. But she had Crohn's and she wasn't able to eat anything but a little bit of chicken and a little bit of rice for 2 years. And now she's eating everything. And I think we had 2 sessions.
Wow.
And because of that, she's been a dog. What do you call it? A dog intuitive is a funny word for it. We know what I'm talking. We all know what I'm talking about.
An
In
animal communicator,
yeah. Thank you. In
dog
Canada,
whisperer.
yeah, animal whisperer, animal communicator, helping particularly with animals that are on their deathbed to help them cross over and bring um, um, soothing, nurturing to the whole situation. But she was doing that in Canada. And of course, with all the physical stuff she was challenged with, her business just sort of dried up. Then that happened. Then we shifted that. She came alive. She was voted, what was it? I have no memory for these things. Sorry. Sorry to the person if she's listening to this. She was voted the North American favorite for animal communication. And she went to a, was it at the White? Yes, it was in Washington, D.C., a ceremony to honor what she had been doing for many years, that which she was finally doing again. So it changes your whole life. And that's what we want, life coming into where it hasn't been able to.
So
Yeah.
what was her body saying to her? What was the block?
Oh, I
Was
don't
it
remember I exactly, because it was, well,
right? I mean,
it
there's
was
so
last summer. It was last summer. Yeah. I don't remember, but it would be some sort of fear for
Mhm.
sure, because when you've got something like Crohn's, the body is just afraid. It's just, and she had some acid reflux and stuff like that, which all relates to fear. All, and you don't understand what it is. And sometimes it's, I'm afraid I'm going to be violated. I'm afraid this is going to be rejected. Bad stuff is going to happen to me. And you're like, where does that come from? She had
Oh,
great parents and all of that. So we had to go back to the soul level of where that came in. And once you flip it there, but it's the fear. Powerlessness is a huge one as it relates to the immune system and particular gut issues for sure. Feeling powerless to make a difference, make a change, be able to be in the world. That's always often in there, that feeling of, well, there's nothing I can do, right? And so then we go into anger. There's nothing I can do. So all I can do is just be angry that this is happening in the world and this is happening. And that you're just blowing up your power into hopeless and helpless and just being angry at the world. And what does that help? Not a whole lot. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Because
All
anger
right.
and power are the same energy. One is to destroy and one's to create. When it's true power, universal power, creating. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the soul embodiment. It's the mission of soul embodiment. And
Mhm.
what you're saying is if the soul is not embodying, then as you said, life is being blocked.
Mhm.
And where
Mhm.
life is being blocked, we see it in our body.
Yep.
So this is, someday I know that this is going to be more mainstream in the
Yeah.
medical field
Yeah.
than it is
Yeah.
now,
Mhm.
because isn't it fascinating that people who do work like this with, for example, a diagnosis, they'll
Right.
go to their doctor again.
Right.
And I've
Right.
heard so many different stories. The doctors,
Yeah.
some are aligned and say, wow, what are you doing? Keep doing it.
Right.
Other doctors actually get angry.
Mm.
Which
I worked with a woman who had cancer, and she was able to clear the cancer, and she went back to the doctor, and he was saying, well, no, you still need to take blah 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 and this medication and that medication. It felt horrible to her. So we had a session, and it basically, part of it was empowering her to say, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do that. But we
right.
have so many old things of like, oh my God, if I don't allow the doctor to help me, what do I have?
Mhm.
They're the ones that know, et cetera. And we think, oh, we don't believe that stuff. We're not into medical intervention. But the bottom line was she had this stuff about authority and somebody else is responsible for her body. And don't we see that changing in the world these days? That, my body, my life, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah. And she feels much better now. Oh,
These stories are amazing, and this is a journey of embodiment. And we can, I mean, again, there's going to be more and more coming out on shows like this where people are healed. We've even heard these stories. It really is wonderful. It's getting to, it's coming back to the heart. It's
mhm,
living from the heart, as you said, from the beginning here.
mhm.
And it's beautiful. And so on that soul level, it's we are, as we embody soul or connect with soul, we're deprogramming from all the trauma and experiences that told us otherwise, even
Yeah.
our familial programming, our
Yes.
societal programming.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yep, so much. And, there's a lot going on in the world right now, as we know. And the bottom line is, again, the powerlessness we feel about being able to make a change. Is that we're just supposed to watch the chaos get more chaotic? When you take hold of where you personally feel a lack of power, hopeless and helpless in yourself, right? When you do that, then you start to feel more empowered in yourself to take care of your physical, mental, emotional health, and you start feeling strong. And this thing outside doesn't mean so much, but you're not just pushing it away and avoiding it. You're going, I can feel that when I am in my strength and clarity of connection to my soul, and the soul is connected to everything, everywhere, limitless possibilities to create from. When you're in that place, then you start to go, I feel and perceive solutions. I see the wisdom of what is going on. You're not caught in it. You feel like you're in a heightened state to be able to hold a vibration, not just, I want peace, 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 because that can be a spiritual bypass. I just want peace. It's like, no, I have a wisdom of perceiving what's going on here, and I can carry that in myself and have room for that and not just avoid what's going on in the world or get angry about it. Ah, this strength in myself and in my body wisdom allows my connection to humanity to be transformed. Just Lauren and I talking with all of you today is transforming the world because you're seeing things from a whole new perspective and your heart is relaxing in the possibility of a way through for anything you've been challenged about. When you feel a way through in your own heart, in your own self, you start to go, oh, I know there's a way through for other situations as well. If I can do it, it can happen other ways. That's how it works. And then you're putting that energy into our one world.
Yes, I love it.
Mm.
I think we've heard be in your own energy, consume your own energy, be your energy, neutralize everything that is a trigger, just bring it back in. And we're doing incredible work that way, not just for ourselves, but for the collective. So you said something that I'd like to dive deeper into because most people would throw their hands up and say, I can't do it, I give up, woe is me, maybe go towards self-soothing with self-medicating with drugs or alcohol or other addictions and or just, not taking care of oneself in the best fashion because we feel lack of power. So when you say take hold of where you feel a lack of power, I'm getting chills because that's a wonderful opportunity. And
Yes.
it's almost as if we need to see it, like get excited when we feel that way, which is the
Yes.
opposite of the way it
Yes.
makes us feel. But
Yes.
cling into it and say, all right, I'm going to flip this. Is that what you do? Is that what this is all about? It's a deep connection with the soul. So how do we begin to unravel that? Can you give us
Sure.
yeah, what do you do, for example, or is there a daily protocol, or how do we take hold of that?
So the first thing is to not be afraid of the fear. We all live in a lot of fear, whether it's anxiety about, um, I don't know, am I going to have enough time today to get done what I need to? Is my boss going to yell at me? Whatever it is, these little anxieties. Just live in a pool of that. So instead of trying to clear that, I'm a real, I have a thing about just trying to clear things because the fear is a part of you and it's afraid for a reason. All right. It's trying to keep you safe often. All right. It's like, don't go in that direction because you might get hurt. And you're like, okay, all right, I'll just stay put. And it holds us back. But along the way to survive, we had to have that fear. I'm not going to go into a long explanation about that. So imagine you've got this fear that arises that you name something, Lorraine. I've got so many
Oh
bazillion
my
things.
goodness. There's so many. Let's just say money. Money's a
Money.
huge
Oh, good, good, good,
money.
good. Okay. So when you have a fear of money or lack of money, feel in your body where you're holding that. It's different for everybody. Some it's in your gut, some it's in your heart, some it's, you just feel like your shoulders collapse and your throat cringes. I'm afraid I won't have money. Really means I won't have what I need, right? I won't have what I need. We talk about it being, I want to be more abundant. Well, you have to get to, oh my God, I'm afraid I won't have what I need to pay the rent, right? I won't have what I need. Feel that in your body. Don't be afraid of it. Feel the intensity of it. I am terrified that I won't have what I need. The more you're able to go into it, the faster it will turn around. You won't have it 6 million times that come up like I've had to, right? Back along the way. Okay. So you have this fear, and maybe it feels like terror. I'm not going to be taken care of. You could go into a story, oh my God, it happened to me, my dad died, blah, blah, blah. Don't go there. Just be with that precious part of you that is terrified. You taught to be in terror. And then be with it. Listen to it like you would a child. This is not your inner child. You have way more than just one inner child. It's just a part of you that's locked down in fear. Be with it. Okay? And just say, tell me, I'm with you. I'm listening. I'm finally listening instead of being terrified of the fear. I'm finally listening versus clearing it. I'm finally listening versus jumping over it. Feel that fear, be with it, and all of a sudden it will start to shift into maybe tears, maybe a little anger. Just be with it. Just be with it and listen. And as you do that, it doesn't take long, really, it doesn't. As you do that, then you start to ask it, well, what is it you need? Remember, it feels like it's not going to be taken care of. It's not going to have what it needs. What is it you need? What do you want to create? And then it will just burst out. That's your soul and your true self coming out because you've listened to the fear so it can relax. And so there's that part of you going, I'm so afraid I won't have money. I'm afraid I'm gonna die without giving to this world. Something like that. I mean, that would be a deeper one, right? That I will die with my gifts inside. And you're like, oh, thank you. Yeah, that's soul challenge level. Okay, I just feel like I'm gonna die with my song inside. And then you go, oh, I want you to have that song. I want you to have that song. Okay, so that's the key, is to find out what this part wants that it hasn't been given. Now, what I do with clients, and in the package you'll have a chance to experience this, is I will take you on a guided journey to where you feel deeply taken care of, where you in your soul, because your soul knows how to feel deeply taken care of, that you have what you need. You are full to overflowing. It exists, I promise you. That's what you want for this part, is to allow it to feel that that is essence is there. You can't get money if you've got this block that says, I'm terrified I'm not going to be taken care of. So you're constantly going, I'm afraid I'm not going to be taken care of. And that's what leads you. That's what drives you forward unconsciously. So we have to get to that place of going, oh, this is what I need. I want to feel deeply taken care of. Again, you don't have to go into the story. My mother and dad never did it, blah, blah, blah. You go, I want to feel deeply taken care of. And the soul and the universe is here to show you what that looks and feels like individually for you. Then you bring that into your body. When you feel deeply taken care of, you start to feel like, oh, it all shifts your perspective on money. Guaranteed. Yeah.
That feeling of being deeply taken care of will build the trust. That's a big issue, isn't it? The
Yes,
trust.
that's another
Trust.
big issue. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that is something, because isn't it amazing how easy we put all of our energy into the fear? We believe the fear or the worry more than the trust.
Right.
How do we overcome that?
Yeah, because we have to get in touch with where that trust lives in us. Now we say, well, how could we trust? Look at human behavior. There's nothing to trust. That's why we have to connect to more of, and that's why I teach you how to do this in the package, for instance, how to do this for yourself so you learn how to get in touch with what you can really trust, that you can bring into your heart and is always present to go, oh, this is what trust feels like. This is what terror and fear feels like. This is what trust feels like. I have a choice. Yay, free choice. I always have a choice. Now I know how to get to trust instead of it just being blind trust. I know I'm supposed to trust. I know I'm supposed to have intuition. I don't know how to get there. What does trust look or feel like? Because what would I trust in this world? Exactly. Exactly. But when you hold trust in your heart, then you start to trust the world, humanity, people, and guess what? You start to draw all that is trustworthy. Yeah, having what you need, people, places, situations, doors opening, money coming in, whatever is valuable to you, the new home you've always wanted, whatever it is, can come in because you have that element of trusting that all is well for you and you can have what you want to create.
I love it. It feels so rich. It really does. Because that element, trusting in our soul, if we were all aligned in this way,
Yes.
that world, I can see how everything would change. And we're getting there.
We
One
are.
hand
We are.
at a time,
We're
one
just
heart
changing to the other train.
changing to the other chain. And this
Yep, where your
is,
soul lives and does know what to trust and what not to trust, because the discernment has to be in there. It's not blind trust. It knows what to trust. Yeah, you're in this new train, and the atmosphere is like, ooh, ooh, this is heaven. Yeah, I know what to trust. Yeah.
yes, I'm hearing that song, Soul Trains.
Yeah.
That is what we're talking about with timelines,
Mm,
is jumping on the soul train.
hmm.
Soul
Yep, exactly.
train, baby. Okay, beautiful. So this is a wonderful time to talk about how your sessions operate, what happens in sessions. I know there's going to be people who want to sign up with you and do this because it's extremely helpful, and you're a wonderful guide
Yep.
to build that effort within ourselves to show us
Hmm.
how we trust in the soul, how we embody more in the soul, how we dig down and find those areas
Hmm.
of trauma and pain and emotional issues and limiting beliefs, all of it. So your package is beautiful because it's a session with you, but it's also what we're talking about is you teach people how to be their own medical intuitive. So
Hmm.
tell us about this. What does it include?
Well, the how to be your medical intuitive is sort of along the lines of what I was talking about just a moment ago, and
Hmm.
giving people the confidence to be able to do that on their own. And I give a number of examples of how that works and how to do it. And we talk about what if you have this and what if you have that, and giving you the tools and the tips to do it on your own and feel comfortable, like you were just saying, to trust. What does trust look like? And that's just so important. It's like the soul is in every cell in our body, in fact. It's not this thing that's far away. It's like the heart lives in every cell in our body, in fact, right? It pulses through the bloodstream, through life itself into every part of our body. So it's available to us. So I'm teaching you how to access those pieces so you have your heart and soul available as part of your body wisdom. And it's exactly that wound of separation, remember, is what you want to resolve, and to be able to bring your heart and soul into your body and live from that, and then discover what is it I want to contribute that lights up my heart and soul. You can't light up your heart and soul and know what you want to contribute and what is your destiny and what is your purpose and all of that if you're in lockdown in your body, that is not allowing you to move forward for all its various reasons. So the recordings will talk about all of that. Now, the private session is about you, all about you and what it is you've had to deal with, whether it is a deep trauma emotionally, a physical limitation, a chronic pattern, at any level, a block in any way. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing moving forward. We're just getting in touch with your soul, but it has a particular focus on your physical limitations because there's so many of them that are up these days, right? Just so many. And I want you to feel as though there is a way through. And I know many of you have tried so many things. And bless you for all that you've done. And if there's any elements still there, we can go to the root cause of that that's holding back the tide to bring you forward to where you know is right for you to be at this point. And I don't want to say right, feels true in your heart and soul for you to be at this point in your life. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. That is tremendous work. And we invite those watching and listening to check it out.
Yeah.
Scroll down on this webpage or click the link in the description box wherever you're watching or listening to this program, and you'll find that there. It's a beautiful opportunity to work and to go deep into yourself and to tackle these issues. We do hear of so many different things on a variety of level. And when we know that it's our soul work, this is deep soul work. This is deep, deep soul work. And building our intuition as well. It's a really important thing in our world right now.
Yeah.
I think we were talking earlier before we started about discernment as well. We are being discerning with our own feelings and sensations in our body
Mm-hmm.
from a soul level, right? We are
Mm-hmm.
being discerning.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'll let you
Yeah.
talk.
So it's very, my signature is that I go very deep, but it's very lightweight about it all. I don't want you to get scared that it's going to be this deep work. I know I've heard of people saying to me, well, I did a session with so and so, and I'm not putting that person down by any means. And they said, well, I'm not supposed to do any more work for a month because it's going to have so many ramifications. I don't want it to lay you out. I don't want you to just be, flatlined for a month. What we do is give your body what it needs. We're not just sort of going in and changing the pattern and, making you have to work a whole lot. It's about giving you right then and there the resources your body is crying out for. Then you focus on those resources, bringing those into your body. And that's a far more lighthearted, positive, illuminating piece to work with and meditate with from that moment forward than going, okay, I got to, just keep working on this pain that I have here. It's like, nope, I get to create this whole new dimension of myself in a way I never have, and I can't wait to do that. More of that daily. Because you want to, you're excited about it. You're excited about what you're giving to your sweet, precious body that has had to handle, hold the pain of separation. That's all, the pain of separation. Without having to know a lot of stories and sort through all that, it's just the pain of separation. Makes it so much easier. I want you to get on with your life, right? I don't want to just be doing deep work with you endlessly. I want you to be able to get on with your life and feel your spirit is liberated. Yeah.
That's transformational work, and it is the new work of healing for our planet. It really is.
Mhm.
Years and years and years of psychotherapy that may work for some, but this is a different approach because it can be healed. And again, This is soul level work. I get that now. It really is beautiful. So as we're talking soul level work, the Akashic records,
Mm.
how do these tell us more about what they are, how we can access them, and how we can learn from them to liberate our spirit and to give us what we need, the information that we need? What's going on there?
Yeah, everything is going on there. I'm glad you asked it that way. The Akashic records simply were developed as a way to access your soul, its records, whether it's your DNA for this lifetime or your DNA for all your lifetimes or your soul DNA for all the worlds that you have come from before coming here. So you're accessing the records of your soul and all its brilliance, its gifts, its strengths, everything that it's about, where it's been, what it's gleaned from all the worlds it's come from. That's one of my specialties as well, is helping you understand your Akashic records of your soul so you can feel more in that place of your own gifts and strengths and what it is that's yours to bring, not in the outer, but from the essence, from the heart and soul of you, what is yours to bring forward. So, what are the Akashic Records? It's an invisible library, just like the universe is an invisible place. I see it sort of, when you think of like the Big Dipper, you see this Big Dipper of stars connected in the sky. Is the Big Dipper separate from the heavens? No. Is it intertwined in it? Yes. Does it have a particular structure to it that brings together a focus of energy? Yes. So the Akashic records are a focus of energy within the universe of infinity and oneness and all that is, holding your precious soul valuable. So know that there is some place in existence that is holding. It's like a not a holding tank quite, but it's like a starry something. See it as a Milky Way, whatever you want to. It's holding your soul sacred in a universal context. That you're part of a universal context here, and that Akashic Records is holding that for you. Yeah.
So we are the librarian of those Akashic records.
Yeah.
Learn
Yeah.
how to access them and work with
Mm-hmm.
them and unlock and open those Akashic records. And it's all through the heart space. It's the
It
heart and
is.
soul again, right?
Mm-hmm. And anyone can do it. It is not a complex place to connect with. You don't have to figure anything out. It really is just when you connect to your soul that lights up that dynamic within you. Um, it's like how the body works. If I go to, how we learn how to type on the computer. I have a keyboard in front of me. I mean, it just still amazes me that I can think the word life and my fingers do that. I'm like, seriously? Seriously, I'm just in awe of that daily. It's like unbelievable. Okay. That's how easy it is to get into the records. You're just connecting to this larger field, this more expanded field of you. So when you feel yourself in that deeper heart space, in that deeper sense of the expanse of you, the energy around you bigger than you, which we can do any moment, feel that, just let your energy expand a little bit. I'm sure you've all done that a million times. It just gives you an easier way to access the Akashic records because they're in the energy field all around you and in you. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for being a beautiful teacher, using
Mm,
the Akashic records as or teaching us how to use the Akashic
yeah.
records to tune into our soul on a beautiful level, and actually helping us embody soul so that we can override the physical limitations, the physical ailments, and really thrive in this life.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
beautiful. One more time, I want to invite our audience to check out ways to work with Susan. She is here to assist you, and I know she's looking forward to it, and I know you're going to love your
Mhm,
time with Susan. And thank you for the work that you're doing on yourself. Susan is there to assist you.
mhm.
So, Susan,
Absolutely.
I would like to say, as we're moving through these times, and it is on the collective, if we go along the mainstream routes of looking at the news, God forbid, well, some of us keep tabs on it, so to see the general flavor of what's
Mhm,
happening on our
mhm,
planet so that we can show up in better ways to be
mhm,
in service.
mhm.
So my question to you as we close is your vision of where we're going, where we're headed, the work that we're all doing, the work that you're doing. You're on your soul mission. You lead retreats around the world, and this is what makes your heart sing.
Mhm.
Do you see a world where that is a reality? And how do you think it's going to unfold?
Yeah, well, it's going to be fascinating because we're going to be surprised more and more all the time. It's so interesting how we keep hearing that the energies that are pouring in are opening up surprising new ways for us. And that
Yes.
is an element we have to be, we want to be open to. Surprise! Because it's going to be actually better than we could anticipate. And we are actually bringing those new dimensions in right now. The beauty is it's not going to be something that's going to clunk in front of us and go, well, this is the new earth, this is a new way of being. It is unfolding right now, and it is so filled with light. Anytime I take a person on a journey, I go on my own journey into the larger universe beyond me. You could say, well, it's so light there, but it's not here. Well, every time we go into that space, we are letting heaven and earth be one. We are bringing that oneness in, and it's getting brighter and brighter all the time. Again, this is those energies that are coming in. Why are they getting brighter all the time, bigger all the time, so-called more intense? It really isn't more intense, it's just brighter because we're receiving it more all the time. And it is so real here. There's a place for it here. And that's because of all of us. So we are going great places. Do we need a little patience? Yes, right? We do need a little patience because climate change is within our body, right? Our bodies have gotten a little bit battered by what we've done to them, and we have to unravel some of that. But there is so much joy and beauty going on right now on the planet. We just lose track of it because it's not being reported. But it is remarkable because my eye is on that ball. I see it all the time. It just brings tears to my eyes. I have to say something real quickly on that line. That just that I watch on television. I watch The Voice. I don't know if anyone else knows that particular series. It's about singers who come on and they want their talent to be seen, right? And I'm a cheerleader. I love seeing people be successful. So the person that won The Voice just the other day was usually it's somebody that's, and this is going to sound judgmental and all of that, but we live in America. Usually it's somebody who's very got a nice voice and they're clean and white and cowboy and all that. No prejudice. It's just the way those are the people that vote. This year, the man who won is I don't even want to label him, okay? He is a man of color and he's very exotic, flamboyant, not your everyday, person next door that you would vote for because he's like you. So unusual, but his voice is incredible. And it was like there is light shining in people where they're just going past their prejudices and going, "Oh, wait, I don't like those kind of people that are different from me." And going, "Wow, he is a star. He needs to be out there. It doesn't matter what he looks like." in the so-called outer that's uncomfortable to me at some level, right? Just one of those little examples because it's fresh. So amazing evidence of where we're going, where it is one world, one people, which is all a representation of the oneness of all that is, right? Yeah. Okay.
Oh my goodness, thank you. And anchoring in the new light, that is a beautiful reminder to reach for that.
Yes.
Reach for that, to get out into nature and to witness
Yes.
the fifth dimensional and beyond
Yes.
energies that are literally unlocking within us.
Yes.
And all the other denser stuff is all the stuff that you help people clear and overcome. And
Mhm.
so we can shine this beautiful light that we are. We can anchor in that newness, but we're not anchoring it in, we're actually letting it out from within us. You've helped us
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah, it's soul emergence. Yes. Soul
Soul
emergence.
emergent. Okay, I
Yeah.
see the world
And it
where
is, that light is emerging everywhere. Yeah, everywhere. And it starts here because we fill our heart with it, like just above all else. What if, it's like if I'm in chaos, can I find that light, that tiny little light within me, and just keep focusing on that just for a moment to remember, yes, even in the midst of chaos, my heart is shining. Even in the midst of fear, there's this inner strength that wants to grow. Yeah.
even if people in our world around us and our
Oh,
physical world around us, family, loved ones, friends,
yeah.
etc., even if they're not there yet, we can
Yeah.
be that example, a shining
Yeah.
example.
We do it for us. We do it because we can't not do it. We don't have to wait for them or be afraid of their. And it doesn't mean I speak like this with my family. I don't speak with my family like this.
You're
But,
silent.
well, my daughter knows what I do. But, I'm just alive with my family and I'm not afraid to be alive. That's how the light gets out there, right? Yeah.
Alive in your hearts. Be
Yeah,
alive in your
exactly.
hearts.
Yeah,
All
I know.
right.
Okay, great.
That's got to be really helpful because we know on this journey that,
Mhm.
and we're not above or below anyone. We're all equal, but
Mm-mm.
some of us understand things on a vibrational level a little bit
Yes.
more. And it's
Yes,
that vibrational level that absolutely will influence in a positive way. We're not
that's right.
forcing, but we're radiating
That's
that
right.
vibration. Thank
Hmm.
you for helping us understand this even more today.
Yeah, you're so welcome. My pleasure. I love doing this with people, sharing light and inspiring and empowering and just reminding us how much light there is in the world. I mean, I look at the background behind you, you know it well, and see how your eye is drawn to the light, and then you feel the forest and the darkness, and it's such a beautiful backdrop, but it's the light shining on the leaves that you're like, yes, it's all beautiful, all good.
We are all leaves with the light shining on us or emanating from us.
From us,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
beautiful.
beautiful.
Susan, it's always so rich to be here with
Oh,
you. You've always uplifted us, shifted our frequency upward.
wow.
We're fortified now, ready to hold our frequency, ready for our soul to emerge even more. So as we say goodbye, I just want to give you a moment for final thoughts.
I'm remembering the word that you used is the stillness. How do we go into our body wisdom, our heart wisdom, our soul? It's to take a pause. We all know about breathing, but to take a pause and tap into that deeper place, just even in our body, physicality, that sacred heart, and go, ah, and create a space for just a moment and let something come in. Receive, receive, receive. and it flushes out what doesn't touch that vibration. We're opening up to receive the beautiful vibration of the stillness. Anything less than that just moves on out.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So beautiful. Thank you all for watching and receiving this and emanating your bright light. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, everyone. We love you. Namaste.
Thank you, Loretta.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.